there's not many other disciplines in college that specifically teach sort of how to think in a rigorous way. That has been left to the philosophers. In fact, the philosophers are the ones that still teach what's called logic, and we even teach formal logic, which shares a lot of things with mathematics. For example, if you have to take a math requirement and you get to take an elective, logic will probably be one of your electives. And even though it might be cross-listed with the math department, it'll be taught by a philosopher. So a lot of people think we're still wearing togas and sitting around thinking about the meaning of life. Not totally true. I did go to a toga party the other year, and I did wear a toga, but I think that's the only time in my life I've done that. So I don't often think about the meaning of life, but that is something philosophers do think about, maybe not in that abstract of terms. But for the most part, anytime a discipline has become empirical enough to have people go out and study and do experiments or surveys or studies, it cleaves itself off from philosophy. So philosophy is typically left with the problems that don't have solutions by solely scientific or empirical methods yet, right? So you have things like philosophy of mind, which is a subdiscipline in philosophy where you study things like what is consciousness, and it doesn't ignore the science. It just takes in a lot of things besides the science, maybe the subjectiveness of consciousness, how it actually feels to be conscious, which science really can't get its grip on yet, right? What is that? Well, that's a process in our brain. We know that. But what is that about? We would still talk about things like free will. Why? Because, well, as you'll find out this semester, free will isn't conquered by science yet. It's a difficult concept. We all tend to think we have it, or at the very least, you subconsciously think you have it, because I can tell you, you probably believe that you could have chosen to not come here tonight. Or you could have chosen not to wear the shirt you're wearing. Or you could have done something like gone to a different school besides Rowan. In fact, you might have considered that at one point. So you see, you do believe that you have free choice. You don't believe that the very next thing you do is written in stone and it's fatalist. You probably believe in moral responsibility, or at least legal or criminal responsibility, by the fact that I can say you probably believe some people are guilty of some things and should be stopped or arrested or something. You can just think of how you feel about, I don't know, the latest shooting or something like that. And no matter what you feel about it, there's probably some moral sentiment there, or an understanding that this one person is responsible for their actions. Or maybe a couple people are. Or maybe you think like Donald Trump's responsible for everybody's actions because ultimately, you know, he provoked them or something like that. The point is, you think someone's able to be held accountable for something, right?